welcome to this live this evening. So I am going live with the amazing Sandy Figueroa. She is a soulful empowerment coach, and we are going to be talking about her story of how she broke free from narcissistic abuse. Sandy has been through it. She's done it herself, and now she's here to show you how to do it too. Next week, she is holding a 3-day mini program in which she's showing you exactly how to break through narcissistic abuse. So if you're somebody that isn't sure whether you're receiving that narcissism, then stick around, because she's going to be telling us more about it, telling us how to recognize the signs, and sharing her journey of how she did that. So she will be with us shortly. Instagram didn't let us join previously, so we're trying again. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling great, so you've got me with my voice. I've only nose, and I might have to stop in between coughing or whatever, but I'm here. And I thought I really wanted to bring this live to you. Hi, Japshit. Hi, Jag. I really wanted to bring this live to you because the work Sandy does is really important, and it needs to be, like, people need to hear it, because I feel like narcissistic abuse gets so swept under the... That's just the way it is. That's just the way people are. So this is why I wanted to bring it to you guys, so that you could listen, hear everything she's got to say, and maybe start kind of thinking about people around you, others, even yourselves, like, is this happening to me? Is this not? Sandy is here. She has asked to join, but it's again. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on or why it's not letting you do this. She went live yesterday and it was went perfectly. I'm going to see if I can invite you, see if that way works. And hopefully we'll get her on in a minute. Oh, how annoying. Hi guys, thank you for joining. Just drop me a hello, let me know how your day's been going. Ah, you're here. Yay. I was like, no, this isn't working.
I was like, it is gonna work. I was like putting it good energies on it.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And also, because it was supposed to work, like, your days moved around and you're at home now. We can do this live amazingly. So we've got lots of people joining us today. Sandy, introduce yourself first.
Okay, so I'm Sandy Figura, and I'm a soulful empowerment coach. And I deal with lots of different things. I deal with women, ambitious women. I deal with the nurturing leader, the woman that's there for everybody, make herself too available sometimes. And then I also deal with the woman in crisis. So all these women, what they really have in common is that we're kind of strong women that pride ourselves on our resilience, our strength. We keep going, but a lot of us neglect our own selves along the way.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So any of Sandy's audience that don't know who I am, my name's Aman Sana, and I am your go-to self-worth mentor. So I help South Asian women ignite their self-worth, and I do that via blending spirituality and science together. We work on the 4 bodies. So we work on your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, and your spiritual body. But Sandy, you just mentioned the different types of women you work with. And really interestingly, I was just thinking, do you think you're called to work with them ladies because over your life, perhaps you were them in each and every point, kind of season of your life?
100%. When I was young, I was very ambitious. I thought my worth is only based on how much money I make.
Yeah.
And I really took that seriously. So by the age of 26, I was a top consultant in the whole of the UK of a recruitment company.
Wow.
And but to sustain that top spot really just took everything out of me, and I had a nervous breakdown, which
Okay.
looking back was really the first spiritual awakening that I had. And then I have been that one that's been there for everybody else. I'm sure you're the same.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone leans on you, and you just give and give. And initially, you don't mind giving until one
Mm.
day you're running on empty, and you're like,
Yeah.
who am I?
Yeah. I mean, I say this to my clients all the time. because it's conditioned, we see this. Like at the moment, I'm talking a lot about the stories that we've written for ourselves or that we've been given, and reprogramming them, rewriting them. So I always say that, this giving, 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 it's because we've seen it. We've seen it from our parents, from our grandparents, whatever, and it's been kind of absorbed. We've absorbed it. But whenever I say to clients, oh, that's really nice, like you put your grandma on a pedestal because she did everything for everyone. How did she feel? Was
Oh
she, was
yeah.
she okay? Like, do you know what I mean? And the minute I ask that, they're like, oh, because I say, well, right now you're giving everything to everyone, but do your kids see you drained? No, just like you probably didn't see your grandma drained. Like, it's not something we need to put on a pedestal.
No, we always see, especially with our parents and our
Mm.
grandparents, they're like the martyrs. It's like, well,
Yeah,
I've done this, and it's like, well, I've done that, and I've made this, and they could be literally. Then they're complaining on the other hand, they've
yeah,
got a bad back and they've got bad
yeah.
hips, and but
I
they they
I've done
soldier
a post
through.
about that. Don't be a martyr to motherhood. It was the post. Like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to.
But we've got to learn, right? We have to go
Yeah,
through it, and then hopefully we then awaken to the fact that it's about balance, isn't it? It's about giving and receiving. But I'm
yeah.
sure, like your audience and my audience, they really struggle to receive.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like South Asians, my audience is predominantly South Asian. I feel like South Asians don't receive well. And it's that typical, no, 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 no. And it's opening up to say, it's okay. It's okay.
Do you
Have
remember? It's
it.
like the money. I'm just going to,
Yeah. When you're going,
younger, and they'll give it like the bunch bond, and then everyone's like,
yeah,
no, no, no. And then as kids, we're like, just take it, mum, take
yeah,
it.
I'll have it. The money, food, no, 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 no. I don't, everything. Just open up to receiving. But anyway, let's get down
Yeah.
to Sandy, what you are working on at the moment, because this is something that I feel like needs to be spoken about, needs to be heard by so many different people. So you are a soulful empowerment coach. You work with three different lady archetypes, which you've just mentioned. Was it three, sorry, or four?
Yeah, three.
Three. Three lady archetypes that you've just mentioned. But you're opening up to something, that you're opening up to talk about something a little bit more openly now,
Yeah.
and that is narcissistic abuse. And I have so much respect for our conversation because you said there was a reason you're only talking about it now, and that is like I have so much respect for that reasoning. But like, so many women need to hear this because culturally we okay a lot of narcissistic behaviors because that's just the way it is. Hundaya, it's all right, don't worry. So,
Jal hole. Jal hole.
right.
Yeah.
And so talk to us a little bit about anybody that doesn't know what narcissistic behavior is, or anybody that's like, am I receiving that? Like, just kind of questioning is, tell us a little bit about it because
Mm.
you've had experience, which is why you're holding your 3-day masterclass mini program next week, because you want to help other women break out of it as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like, this comes really, really close to my heart. So I've dealt with healing a lot of women that have come from abuse, but I've been doing it more behind the scenes, just because really to respect my son. He's
Yeah,
16 years old, and he sees his father now and again. But I just didn't want to open up this whole can of worms in terms of how it may have repercussions for me
yeah.
and for him. So it was
And
only
I
really
have huge respect for that because I've been asked questions before when I talk about like previous stories or anything, and people ask questions, and I say, I'm never going to speak about anything until I'm ready to sit down and have the conversation with my kids.
Yeah, it's so important, right? Because
Yeah,
even just, that's, we've got a very sacred home that I've really worked hard for us to both live in. And I just want to make sure that it's not just about other people's mental health, it's his mental health as well. But what happened this year was an opportunity came to me from Anisha Vasani, who did the fashion brunch. So it's
yes.
something
Oh my
she
God, I love that campaign.
Yeah, it was amazing. And it was something that she does every year. And then she chooses a topic. So last year it was cancer. Then this year she wanted to highlight domestic violence. So she contacted me and said, how would you feel about being one of the 9 advocates? My heart, oh my God. I mean, even now I'm just swallowing because I can feel it. I just had this gut, like a wrench of like, I'm scared, I can't. And I went back to the old Sandy, the abused Sandy, the scared
Yeah.
Sandy.
She was like, what the hell? This isn't
She's
safe.
like, I always knew I was going to talk about it. I didn't know when. And that moment, it was just like, okay, this has come to me. And it was funny because I was in the car at the time and my son was in the car. And my son always knew as well that one day I would want to talk about it just to help, not because I need to talk about it. I've done a lot of
Yeah.
healing over it and I've kind of put it to bed. But I always told my son that a lot of parents and a lot of kids are going through this. So one day I've got the knowledge and the wisdom and the healing to help them. So we were in the car, we had a conversation, put the phone down, and then I looked at him and I said, how do you feel about me doing this? And then he said, Mum, do it. You're going to help a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I said, yes. And then it's that whole thing like, oh my God, like this is it. The moment's come. So I did it and it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
300 women. It was on the catwalk. And you really went out. And I thought I'd be okay considering how much healing I've done over the years. It wasn't just me, it was the other 8 women too. But just
It
that
was because
whole,
you were all together. I felt like I wasn't actually there at the event, but when I saw all of the snippets of the interviews and you were, it was so powerful. Maybe it was the special, like maybe you guys, all the 9 of you, were meant to be together or whatever, but it just kind of looked like it fitted and clicked. And I watched some of the snippets on the reels, and it does bring tears to your eyes because you can feel your guys' emotion in that.
yeah. And so you're absolutely right, because we've got something special to each of us and we understood each other. Whatever the abuse, because abuse comes in many different forms. So once we did that, and then after that, oh my God, we all did in our own way. I had another breakdown, and I did a live about it. So I thought, you know what, this is a very vulnerable moment. Don't hold back now, Sandy. You've taken that step forward. You've come out in the light. You shared what it was that you went through. Other women are still either going through this or they have and they haven't healed. So I did this live on my Instagram and I was literally, because I wasn't expecting me to really have that real breakdown, but really it was honoring that old Sandy who'd been waiting. And she was scared to come out in the light. And when she did, it was liberating in so many ways, but also it was like my nervous system really, it took its toll on it.
Yeah.
So it was all of that. And then on the back of that, we were on the ITV. It done amazing. I was on now on the BBC Radio. I've done a couple of things and just so many opportunities I've had to talk about this. I did a podcast with Vina,
Yeah.
the founder's chair. So, but it was a lot. It happened in such a short amount of time. It was the whole momentum. So really, to talk about narcissism, it's very insidious. It's not always obvious, especially in the South Asian, where we do put, it's a very patriarchal, we do put the boys on a pedestal. So it doesn't matter if, from a young age, we've always got it ingrained in our veins that if you're a girl, you come second. Not in all families. A lot of families do make their girls feel really worthy. But
Hmm.
in my family, don't get me wrong, we were very loved. But I'll give you a
But
prime
there is
example.
a slight, even if it's just like that, right?
I'm
There's
going to
always
give you.
just a slight,
I'm
and
going to
it's
give you
not
very.
love.
Sorry.
It's almost like what he says goes more than what you say.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you just a prime example. Although we were loved and all the rest of it, my parents said, "Oh, no, we didn't do much for her." Me and my brother, we share the same birthday, okay, but we're 3 years apart. And every single birthday growing up, my parents did a cumbar for us. And on the Sunday, my mum would always get us two cakes, a blue cake and a pink cake. But everyone that used to come would give my brother money, not me.
No way.
Yes. And this happened every year. You'd think these people would remember, right? Yeah. So just from a young
Oh,
age, I mean, that's just said one example. I'm sure we've all got stories of where we saw that
yeah,
fun between the boys and the girls. And it could be other things, the girls were in the kitchen, the boys could just eat and then put their dishes by the sink, just little things like that. So there's always been, for me growing up, I've always had this ingrained in me that when you get married, you put your husband first. You
or
put
they
your
have
in
more of a say.
first. They do. And they're just more important than you. Their needs come before your needs. And
Yeah,
I didn't want to be that person, but it's not always how you want to be. It's what's ingrained in you.
yeah,
So you become the byproduct of it's not what they say, it's what you see.
yeah. And this
So
is often what I have with a lot of clients. And this is where the inner conflict comes in when people are like, I just don't understand because their logical brain is telling them one thing, but their programming, like you said, what's ingrained in them is saying another.
Absolutely. So I really lost my voice when I got married, and the signs were there really. So I met him at college. We dated for 3 years, and the signs were all there. But I was 19. I was very naive, very
Yeah.
innocent, and we didn't have boyfriends in my day. It was like if you're going to go out with someone, you've got to marry
You
them.
marry them. Yeah.
That was it. There's no other options. Even the red flags were there. I really just overlooked it. And also, we fell in love. And narcissists are very good at love bombing you. They'll say the right things, and they just know how to do it. It's so subtle, but it's so powerful at the same time. So I
Mm.
was hooked in. Then you're married, and then there's a lot of immature tendencies, I'm going to say first. So a lot of his behaviors I just put down to him being immature. He's just being a boy, he just got away with it. But then when I flagged a few things up to his mum, she would then say the whole typical thing, Jackal, you know what he's like. He's fine.
Yeah.
Just ignore him. I kept getting, just ignore him.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, okay. So then a few times I did address it, but looking back now, I was too young. You can't think
Innocent.
like how they think. They think
Yeah.
very differently. Um, it's the manipulation is very subtle.
Do you think sometimes, I don't know in your scenario or not, I do think sometimes they don't realize they're narcissistic. I think that's just the way some people work and that they think it's normal. But that I think that's when they've learnt it probably from narcissistic parents as well.
Yeah.
And that becomes their way. Like you have those that know exactly what they're doing and know what games they're playing. But you have those that don't actually know that they're playing these games with you.
Yeah, my experience is okay. He may not know what's wrong from right, I suppose, from when you were young, because he's been playing these tactics for.
Actually, no, you're right there. That they might not know it's narcissistic, but they know it's wrong.
But they do know
Yeah,
it's wrong. They know
yeah,
exactly what, because they
yeah,
know to be manipulative. All kids tend to be manipulative. We all try and get away with what we can get away with. But this is like he had four older sisters. So he was the youngest. So he was obviously the golden child, the golden
yeah,
boy. So he used to also, really be quite manipulative with his sisters as well from young. So it's a very learnt behavior. And it was behavior that his mum let him get away with.
yeah,
And if anything, she was part of it too, because, she made it very clear he's the golden child, he rules the roost. And that's what he did. So, and I think going back to keeping it culture, I call it cultural narcissism because it's really fed in our culture.
yeah, yeah. What
And
is
it really
short?
is. And I'm not saying it's only a cultural thing because I deal with many, many women of all cultures, and narcissism
But the
has a
type of narcissism in South Asians is a cultural thing, like you're
it
saying.
is. Because
And
really,
Palm here has mentioned, she said it's a subconscious behavior, but the consequences are there to be seen, which is what we're saying, that they may not realize they're doing it, but they realize it's wrong.
they realize it's wrong, but it serves them. They get away with it. So they're going to keep doing it. And also, they haven't learned another way to be. It's almost like a part of them, which I like to say their soul, is like inside they're soulless. They're just all, they've
Yeah,
got extreme high ego. Now, I'm not saying that everyone is, you might get toxic people that have certain behaviors, but I mean, you know when you're with a narcissist when they try and destroy your life. You know when you're with a narcissist where they can't have any healthy relationships with anybody. They'll befriend someone initially and be the best friend with those people, but eventually there's going to be a conflict that arises
and then
along
they
the
let
way.
you go.
Sorry, what was that? And then, yeah,
And then they let you go.
yes.
They're your best friend when you're listening to them and giving them the sympathy and letting them be the victim. But the minute you challenge something, oh, you're gone. Sorry.
Absolutely. And they just discard you. And that's really what I was seeing more and more. And it got to a point with me where it was really, and again, when you're in it, you can't see it. I mean,
No, you're not
it
gonna.
doesn't matter how smart you are. I was very successful in my career. Like I said, I was very strong, very independent, very savvy. No one would ever know in the workplace that I was going through what I was going. And then when I used to leave the workplace and drive home, I used to just have this, like, again, that gut wrench of like, what am I facing when I get home? But at the same time, you love them, and
Mm.
it's familiar to you. So you take
That trauma bond, isn't it?
the trauma bond, and you take the crumbs, the breadcrumbs of love, and then just when you start to pull away, they know energetically, and then they pull you back in again. And it's like how they do it. And I always say to people, I spent years, like most in a marriage, analyzing why they're being like that, why are they doing that, is it me? And I spent years fixing myself, thinking that if only I fix myself, we can be okay. If only I be perfect, then I won't make a mistake and set him off.
And
So
it's interesting because you know how you said that they energetically realize when you're pulling away? It's because they begin to lose control. So I've had both family and friends in narcissistic relationships, which is why like I'm like, yes, yes to everything you're saying. So I'm like, I know this. That because when you begin to pull away, they're like, oh shit, I don't have her on a leash. I don't have her on control. I need to pull her back. So then they pull you in again. And you're
and
like, oh,
they give you
okay,
that love. They give you that love again, and then
yeah.
it's constant like that, and that's how
And
they
you know,
keep.
when you said it's so undetectable almost with the South Asian. So this friend that I had, um, it wasn't a great relationship. There was other kind of substance abuse involved as well. And when she finally went through it, there was, I can't remember now whether it was counseling or something. They gave her a form to fill out. And she spoke to me after. She was like, Aman, I can't believe how many boxes I ticked yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't. She goes, I didn't think it was abuse. She goes, I didn't. It was mental and emotional for her. It wasn't physical, but she was so shocked at the amount of boxes she ticked yes to that showed her that this is emotional and mental abuse.
Yeah.
Because for years she just put it down to substance abuse, or that's just them, or that's just cultural, all these types of things, and she was utterly shocked.
And I know, but you just said, I've got goosebumps in my body. Whenever, you talk about anyone or I hear anyone, I feel what they feel because I had that moment. And it was in 2011 when something came on my screen about narcissism. Never heard that word before. And it came up, and then it said, oh, are you subjected to this, this, and this? And when I looked at it, exactly that. It was like every box was a tick. And I remember I just froze and I was like, could this really be it? But the thing is, you don't want to admit it. You go into denial because
Mm.
it's your marriage, it's your life, it's all you know, it's your family. I had a kid with this guy. Like, what would this mean? And also, if it does mean that, what am I going to do about it? I'm not
Yeah.
ready to leave him. I love him and all this kind of stuff. So I kind of put it to bed, and that was 2011. But then once the seed is already sown, as they say, the universe gets you to see it in different ways. And I stayed with him for another 2 more years, and it was really and he didn't drink, he was a vegetarian. So to the outside world, like, why would I ever
Perfect.
want to leave
Yeah.
someone like why would you leave
It's like
someone
you
like
have to find and look for a reason. He hasn't cheated on me. He hasn't hit me. He hasn't done this. He hasn't done that.
he's not that
Hi,
bad,
Jazz. Jazz is just
he
saying hello to
up
us.
Jazz. It's like he can change, it's always that. And then so it wasn't, and really then it was the police that took me in the end because we had a situation, and as I told him I was leaving eventually, and I was very strong in my conviction on that. I think he thought I was never going to leave. They always think you're never going to leave. They are so dead set about it. And for a lot of people, we do leave, but then we go back. And I did because that's when they cry and they're like, I'm so sorry, I'm going to change, I'm going to get help, all this kind of stuff. And you believe them and you still live, you always have that
You
hope.
believe them because they show you that they've changed for a month, for 2 months, for whatever long it is to bring you back.
And then what happens after that is they always ramp up the abuse because now they want to punish you. It's like, who do you think you are trying to leave? Who do you think you are? So again, there's games, there's mind games. I mean, if I look back, there were so many twisted things that I really felt unsafe towards the end. And it's very, you've got to have your wits about you. Once they know you do want to leave, that is really one of the most dangerous times for women in terms of being a victim, because you don't know what they're going to do. So for me, it was a bit of a scary point. The police took me in the end, and it was only until the next day when I was having interviewed one of the police officers, and she said to me, "Do you realise that you've been in an abusive marriage?" That was the first time in 19 years of me being with him that someone said to me, "Do you realise that?" Even when I saw the narcissism, I still didn't label it as abuse. I labeled it as him having some tendencies. But when she
Yeah,
said that to me, she said, "Do you realise you're a victim of abuse?" And I don't want to be a victim. I'm a strong,
yeah.
independent woman. There's a connotation about me being a victim. And that was it. So the first thing I did with that was that night, I looked at my son sleeping. He was 5 years old. I left because of him. I done a lot of work on myself, and I just thought, okay, this is going to sound a bit messed up, but I thought, okay, I don't mind being abused by him because I can handle it. That's what I thought. And I love him. But I don't want, and it's become normal for me, but I don't want this 5-year-old innocent kid to think that this is normal behavior and that this is love.
Because what just happens, I know you've just said that it's a bit saying that's a bit messed up. Just to anybody listening in that thinks, oh, well, how can she say that? What happens is you have a window of tolerance and somebody does something just slightly outside that window of tolerance. So you open that window up a little bit and you think, oh, it's okay, it's all right, we'll accept that a little bit. And because you open it up, then they do something a bit more outside. And next thing you know, your window of tolerance is this big and stuff that's happening to you is absolutely crazy to somebody else, but but it's okay and it's normal to you. It's only when you do the work that you then bring your window back to some sort of reality and you're like, oh my god,
And it takes
what?
time. And also, you're absolutely right, because with that, then your nervous system also expands, so you're
Yeah,
able to take more abuse.
yeah,
But the issue there is when you're in it, you're also in a very freeze state. So
you
you
become
you
so numb.
you become numb, you become disconnected, you're isolated. They're very good at isolating you from your support network. I even had close family went to court to testify against me. That's how good he was at making out that I was the villain. I was the narcissist. And in court, and then trying to divorce a narcissist, that's a whole thing on itself. And I had so many, I remember shouting like, and you lose your voice over the years over it within your relationship. And I remember just saying to these solicitors, let me just tell you something, he's a narcissist. So do you know can you please know how to deal with him? And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I had 3 different legal teams from different companies. None of them can handle him. In the end, I did it myself. I used to be up at night learning all about family law
Oh wow.
and go to work the next day. And I did the whole thing on my own because I thought, I'm not going to throw any more money at this. At first, they have you in such a spiral distortion, you don't know what reality. I remember looking back at my marriage thinking, what parts of 19 years was real? And I know a lot of women that watch this will be thinking the same thing. Like I don't know what elements of my life is real. Like, was
Yeah.
I real? Was it him? So you're so confused. But when you get to the point that you just want to surrender, you're like, I'm so done with this. You know what? I'm just going to speak for myself. And I did that, and it was the best thing that I did. I then
I
just told
love
the
that.
judge, yeah,
Love that.
no one knows the
So
truth better than
Sandy,
you.
tell us how you're going to help other women because next week is, oh my God, the minute I saw it, I was just like
Yeah.
straight on messages to you. I was like, what? Oh my God, what is this? Tell us because I feel like everybody needs to know about this.
Bless you. So yeah, so the graphic that I used was quite as you said, it was a graphic of me just kind of putting my head. I'm just literally wearing a black leotard. That's what I was. I wanted to strip down, not to
Yeah.
show my body. Nothing about that. It
But
was more for
the
me
the
to be
metaphoric,
raw. just to get rid of all the layers of being a mum, the being the wife, the daughter-in-law, the daughter, South Asian, everything that the pressures we put on ourselves to become who we were trying to be. And so this is called No More Hiding. Like I hid for years and I'm done with hiding. And women out there, you know, and even some guys that are subjected to it, like we don't need to hide. They are cowards. They really are cowards, but they depend on you losing your voice, losing your power, you hiding so that they can carry on with their false narrative. So
Yeah.
what I'm so passionate is I put together a 3-day masterclass experience. You put it really well. It is more like a mini
It's a mini
program, really.
program.
No,
You're
and that's
teaching
great
over
days.
2 days. Like I swear, I was like, you are so underpinning this. Like it's a 3-day mini program because you're showing women how to break free. You're teaching everybody, even the golden nuggets in this live. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna activate something in somebody's brain. It's like, oh shit, I need to look into that. You know
absolutely.
that article that you read. You're being that for
Yeah.
other people. So in this
So
3-day mini program, we're gonna call it. Uh,
so the
how are
first
you
day
helping women? What are you going through?
So the first day is going to be about facing the reality, and it really is taking away those rosy glasses and observing what is, taking even yourself out of you, observing your marriage, is observing what is going on. So we're going to really break that down. And I'm anyone that knows me, and you probably can get a vibe of how I am on this live. I'm very direct, like I don't mince my words. So I'm going to tell you exactly what it is that you need to see, that you might be avoiding or you might be in denial of, because until you see it, no one is waking up.
Yeah.
That's the day one. The day two is going to be all about you becoming you again. So it's about reclaiming parts of you that we gave away so freely in the name of love, in the name of loyalty, in the name of culture, I want to
Yeah.
say, right? So all these things that we gave away, it's about reclaiming all those parts of us back again. And there's a process that we go through, and there'll be boundaries that I'll be putting in, you know, teaching you. I'm just basically going to give you my strategy, what I did. And because if it worked for me, it works for my
Work
clients.
for others, right?
Absolutely. And then the third day is all about claiming your freedom. This is all about you now thinking what is possible. Just
Yeah.
getting you to expand your mind. I'm not asking you to make any changes there and then. It's more about you just we'll go through the what if. What if you did this? What if you did that? What is possible? And getting you to stand in a different positioning as opposed to like a lot of people, you're so in it, you can't see it.
Yeah.
You're so fearful, you're so scared that even a thought of another possibility means you've got to take action. And for most people aren't ready to take action.
And you're in freeze, like we just said, so it's not a natural thing to do.
It's not, but this masterclass is more of an activation. That's really what I want. And anyone that's been to my masterclasses know that I only give golden nuggets. I'm not one of these people that just give you a little bit and then entice you to then come on to something else. Like, no, I genuinely do want this masterclass to help people to feel that God, there's someone there just like me who I was where you are. I can even to this day, you never forget. I remember
Mhm.
every feeling of not being enough, every feeling of disappointing that person, being a
Mm.
disappointment, every of failing in a marriage, being a divorcee, like what does that mean? Being a single mum, have I let my child down? And the biggest thing, Ammon, that I'm really passionate about this is if you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for your kids.
With your kids.
Do it
Yeah.
for them. Because staying in a marriage like this, it doesn't get better, guys. It gets worse.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God, I absolutely love that. So anybody that's listening, please, please, please go follow Sandy. Go and check out the link in her bio. I believe it's there, isn't it?
In my
And
bio.
sign up for this 3-day mini program starting on Monday because it is absolutely insane and you're going to need it. Like, please, if you're thinking about it, just go and talk to her. Go and talk to her.
At the moment,
And
it's £77 only at the
okay,
moment, which is I kept the price very low. Some people have told me
that
it's
is,
too low.
yeah,
I'm,
amazing.
The reason why I kept it so low is I know that when people get, I know there's a lot of financial abuse that goes on, and people that are
Yeah.
thinking about leaving, they're not in a financial situation to want to pay
Yeah.
big bucks. So I've left it, but the price is going to go up in a few days' time, guys.
Okay.
So just be mindful of that. It is a bit of a early bird offer. So yes. So enough
Love it.
about me now. Let's come to
I
you.
love that. Love that. Love that. Anybody listening that resonates with Sandy, like I said, go and check her out. Anybody that doesn't know me, go and follow me. Check out my Insta page. I am running a 60-minute training on the 17th of June. My training is all about rewriting the beliefs that are running your reality, because we all know that the stories that we live by, we've touched on it very lightly said, the cultural stories, whatever childhood stories that we're running, is running our reality now. And I am going to be teaching you in those 60 minutes how to go back and rewrite those stories, where they've come from, how they were created, why they were created, in which moment they were created. And this is more than just mindset. We are going really deep into the subconscious. I'm giving you an understanding of what's going on in your subconscious mind, because that's 95% of your brain that's running your reality that you don't even know. Um, but we're going beyond mindset, beyond the mind, and I'm actually showing you how to feel in your body where that energy and emotion is lying, because our body has memory as well. So it's not just about releasing it from your mind, it's about changing it and releasing it from your body. So it's going to be a very transformative 60-minute training, and I'm so excited to bring it because I'm on a mission to help all South Asian women ignite their self-worth. And I know you've got a very similar mission. We're very aligned with this, which is why I just wanted to go live and get this message across to everyone, because it is all about collaboration. You're going to have people in your audience that want to ignite their self-worth. There's going to be people in my audience that listen to you and think, oh shit, am I in a narcissistic relationship? I want to go follow you. So please, everybody listening, do check us both out. Go and sign up for Sandy's 3-day mini program next week, and check out my workshop on the 17th of June. It is online, it is free, and it is at 8 p.m.
I love that. And you're right, it's so important because we get stuck in our beliefs to the point where we don't even question our beliefs.
Like, what is your story? Why is it that story? What, like, you label yourself as stuff. You're like, oh, but I'm just that kind of person. Are you? Are you really? Or were you taught that? Is that something you've learned over life? And we can change it. We can change these things. And people just don't understand that they can change it. I'm really done with South Asian women feeling less than. I'm really done with this suppression. And I am on a mission to help women ignite that and have this ripple effect. If I can help somebody ignite their self-worth, they can be the light and the inspiration for their friends and family, and then they can change. We can have this ripple effect and just grow and rise together. And I'm on a huge mission to do this.
I love that. I mean, and it's so true because like our mums didn't have self-worth. So many
And it was
South Asian.
normalized. It was so normalized.
It's like, well, that's just what happened. It's like, well, that's just what Gurian do. That's just, it's just like it's the expectations.
Yes.
But we can change the expectations. We
Yeah.
can, like you say, we can change the story. But people think they are the story. But no, the story is
Exactly that.
separate from you.
Yeah, people think they are the story, but it's not. It's not. I'm going on a tangent now, but it's like when people say, "Oh, my anxiety," I'm like, "Nope, it's not yours. You're not defined by it. No, 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 no." But yeah, we can rewrite your stories and create stories for you that you want, not ones that you've adopted, not ones that you've found, not ones that you've been given. How many people are shy because they were told they were shy? She's shy from 5 years old, and now they're 25, 35. 45, and they're still labeling themselves as shy because they were given that story. So join me to rewrite your stories on the 17th of June. The link is in my bio. Go and sign up now. Right.
Excellent.
I am going to leave you. It was an amazing conversation. Absolutely loved it. But I'm
And
going
I'm
to put the
glad you
dinner
were able
on.
to hold your voice too. You didn't have a coughing fit.
Drink my water. Like just before I jumped on, my son was like, "Mum, are you going to be okay?" I was like, "I don't know, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it
When
out."
you left me a message, I was like, she sounds like she's dying.
Yeah, I said to them, I said, "Right, guys, I'm going to do my live. I'm going to make dinner, and then I'm going to crash."
Absolutely. Well, thank you, for, letting me come on your platform. I really, really, appreciate that. And obviously I'll make sure that let me know, send me your stuff and I'll send that to all my
Oh,
community
bless you. Thank you so
mastermind.
much.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you
Speak
everyone for
soon. Have a good evening,
joining.
everyone. Thanks.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.